Good morning, everybody. This is Nasira again for our Thrive, Not Just Survive broadcast. Today, I am so thrilled to have a wonderful person who I know through marriage, my husband's niece, and now I have become a really good friend. And so, or she's become a really good friend for me. I want to introduce to you somebody that comes from or is a fitness expert, I call her, because she looks amazing and really practices what she preaches. So I want to welcome Megan to our show, and I want to walk you through how we can cope while we're at home, while in quarantine. How can we keep ourselves healthy and motivated? So let me bring Megan on and we'll start the conversation. Hi, Megan. Welcome. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you. Thank you for coming on. I know I kind of sprung this on you when you weren't feeling well over the weekend, but I'm glad that you're feeling better. So I wanted to kind of introduce you and have you walk our audience through how did you get in the fitness world?
Yeah, for sure. So it's kind of funny. Growing up, I was never really into your stereotypical sports. My friends still to this day laugh at me. They say that I don't sport because I never played sports growing up. I rode horses. I was active outside like a normal kid, but never really played sports. I started kind of getting into exercising a little bit on and off, but didn't really know what I was doing, probably in my late teens, early 20s. But it was very up and down. It was like I wasn't consistent. And then I met one of my very good friends that actually I met her through one of my friends that I grew up with. They're now married, but I asked her for some advice because I was just, I'm sure like everybody, I was just tired of not being happy with the way that I looked, the way that I felt. And I was like, I gotta make a change. So this is it. And meeting her kind of set me in the direction that I'm in now, or it did. And we consistently started working out together. She was teaching me, and that got me into fitness competitions. So I did my first bikini competition with her, which I was like, this is crazy. Like, there's no way I am getting on a stage in front of God knows how many people in a bathing suit. And I was like, no, like I had self-esteem issues. There was no way that was happening. But yeah, so she convinced me to do it, and I did it. And by all means, I was not the fittest person in that show, but that didn't matter. And the way that I felt that day, I was like, I feel more confident standing in a bathing suit or a bikini in front of tons of people around the fittest people. And I felt the most confident I had ever felt. And I was like, wow, this is the best feeling in the world. And I wanted to start making other people feel that way. And I remember sitting on the floor talking to her, and I said, like, I need to make people feel this way because this is like the best feeling I've ever had in my life. And she said, you should become a personal trainer. And I was like, what? So anyways, long story short, I applied to Good Life and I got into personal training. I became a personal trainer for a year, maybe a little bit more than a year. And now I'm currently in the assistant general manager position at Good Life. So still in the fitness industry, just in a different side of it. So when I was a trainer, it was more so right alongside coaching people how to work out. And now it's more so getting people in the door and getting them started on their fitness journey, which in my opinion is the hardest part. So, but the biggest thing is yeah, I was never into it before. And once you feel the kind of the endorphins and the excitement of feeling better about yourself, that's kind of what really got me hooked and got me into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is the key, right? Is when you find that thing in your heart, or that mission, or what makes you feel good and you want to help others. I think that's when you know you're on your path, sort of why you do what you do, right? Because a lot of people will go to jobs they perhaps don't like, but they do it because they have to. But it's until you feel that feeling of I've found it and I feel good about it. So work doesn't feel like work. Work really feels like you want to be there and just do as much as you can for whoever enters the doors, right, for you. So today I wanted to talk to you about, because I have a lot of people that are, calling me in terms of my business and, not feeling great, just feeling really emotionally drained or worried and, and physically not feeling up to doing much. So I wanted to, the reason I thought we should talk is because you could shed some light on, as we are in, I call it retreat, but I know it's quarantine. What can you suggest for people that can help them through this? Because we don't know really how long this is going to be.
Yeah, for sure. So I think the big thing is it's going to be specific more to whether you've been working out before or if this is going to be the time that you use to start working out. So I know a lot of people that are used to going to the gym every day are having a hard time because it's like, well, what do I do? What do I do now? Because it's such a big part of your life. The amount of time that you spend in a gym, if you're a consistent gym goer, could be the same as someone spends going to a part-time job. So it depends on whether you've been active before or you're just being active now, but this is the time to start if you haven't started, because a lot of people, when they sit down with me and I say, well, why is the reason you haven't started exercising? They say, time. I don't have time. We all have time. So now we all have time to do something. So I think the biggest thing, whether you're a beginner or someone that's been working out forever, I have a pretty good routine that you can stick to that is going to be good for anybody. So the biggest thing is sticking to a routine and having a routine. And as human beings, we are used to having a routine. And I think that's the biggest shock to us with this quarantine, is that our routine is completely gone. So we're used to waking up and having breakfast and going to work. And then, I mean, I work out at work, but for the people that have to go to the gym after work, it's like we have our routine. We get home, we go to bed, and we do it all over again. So right now it's kind of like, what do we do? So I think the biggest thing and the first thing is to have a plan and to stick to a routine. Schedule your day. So I'm kind of trying to stick to my normal routine that I'm used to. In a sense, I still wake up early. I still exercise in the morning. I still have breakfast around the same time. I try to stick to my same routine, or create a new routine that works for the quarantine life. A big thing is scheduling your day and sticking to your schedule. So actually, if you're the type of person that needs to write it down and check it off like a checklist, then that's a really good way to do it. For myself, working out earlier than later. So I find I'm the type of person, if I'm sitting all day and I'm watching TV and I'm not doing anything, I tend to get a lot more lazy. And I find that it's a lot harder to get up and get moving once you've been sitting for a long period of time. So working out earlier is something that I would highly suggest. Get your workout or your exercise or your activity in a lot earlier in the day if you can. And I'm not talking 6 a.m. I'm talking like you have breakfast, you sit for a minute, and then before you start getting into that like slump of just sitting forever, get up and go do something active. Another big thing is setting realistic goals. So writing them down and tracking your progress. So this isn't really a time, obviously, to start setting goals like, oh, I'm going to do a strength lifting competition, or I'm going to get the leanest that I possibly can right now, because it's just not realistic, because we don't have gyms to go to and we have limited amount of things to use to keep activity. But yeah, I think a big thing when it comes to actual exercise and what you can do to keep active is making it fun. So exercise with your family, exercise with a partner, whomever you're quarantined with, because it's really good to have a workout buddy to help you encourage each other, and to get those days where I'm feeling like, oh, I don't really feel like working out. If my fiance goes to work out, I'm like, okay, well, now I gotta go. Like, how can he do it? I'm gonna do it. What's my excuse, right? Or do it together. A big thing would be to make it fun, like I said. So there's different, and you can go online. There's a lot of different things that fitness icons on Instagram are posting right now. So things like the name exercise. So you can find them on Pinterest, and each letter has a different exercise. So you spell your name out. So M would be 7 burpees. E would be 15 push-ups. And then, so you do the workout, right? If you want to make it hard and you're someone like myself that has an extremely long last name, you can do your last name as well. I don't know if I could make it through my last name, so I usually just do my first. But another one is cards. So you get a deck of cards, and each card is a different exercise. And then you can pull a card, and then you're like, okay, I have to do this exercise. I've seen things as as creative as getting Easter eggs and filling them with different exercises and tossing them in the backyard. I mean, I don't know, today was a blizzard in Orangeville, so I wouldn't be running outside today, but tossing exercises in a ball to different parts of the yard, and you run to each different one. And when you get to the exercise, you do 15 squats or you do 10 push-ups or something like that to make it more creative and fun. Another big thing is a lot of people are using household items. So I know that people are used to lifting weights in the gym, and a lot of people don't have that in their house, but you can be really creative. So for an example, I mean, I work in a gym, so I have access to the gym at least 5 days a week. And I'm used to lifting weights, but I didn't have that in my house. So it's like getting creative with bands if you have bands. But if you don't have anything and you're really new to the fitness world, it's little things like filling up a backpack, putting weights, heavy things in a backpack, strapping it on your back, doing squats, doing lunges, things like that. And like I said, there's so many ideas on the internet right now. People are coming up with such creative things, like how you can use a chair so you can step up onto a chair and step back down, or put one foot up onto a chair and do lunges and push-ups on a chair. A lot of people can't get down onto the ground and do push-ups on the ground, but you can actually put your hands on your staircase and you go to the level of your stair that is comfortable for you and that you feel that you could push and push back up, and you can do assisted push-ups on your staircase. So it's a lot of little creative things like grabbing your laundry detergent jugs and using those, put them in front of you, squat, hold them beside you, and do things like that. We got super creative at our house, and our dog is about 100 pounds. So my fiance actually picked him up and started squatting with him in the kitchen. So you can be creative. I mean, I don't think it would work for you. Your dog's not heavy enough.
Yeah, no, I think it would be actually, it would make me feel good, right? Just 4 pounds of nothing.
Exactly. But yeah, it's just getting creative. And like I said, there's so many things online that can show you how to do those exercises, and use it as an excuse to change up your fitness routine. So people that have been working out for a long time are used to working out in a gym and lifting heavier weights. Use this as an excuse to give your body a shock and go for a run or do something more body weight style. You can create muscle and you can build muscle by just putting your body under attention. So using bands, like I said, I had to become very creative with my workouts at home because I didn't have any weights or anything at home when this all first started. And it was a really good way to change up my routine. I was used to lifting super heavy, and when I got to my house, I had to start doing body weight stuff, and tell me, I was sore. Like, it was completely different. You're doing way higher repetitions, and it's a completely different style of working out. So it's a really good excuse or reason to change up your routine as well. Even a lot of gyms online I know Good Life is offering free classes to members and associates. So if you're a Good Life member or a member of another gym, I'm sure a lot of gyms are offering online classes. Les Mills On Demand is a really good option. They're the company that we use for Good Life uses them for all of our fitness classes. But yeah, that's the big thing. And honestly, if you don't have any of that stuff, and I'm sure everybody has stuff at home that you can lift up and put down, because that's really all we do in the gym is we just lift things up and we put them down.
Right.
And that's really all it is. And there's stuff at home that you can definitely use. But a big thing is get outside. Get outside, go for walks, and put that in your schedule. Like I said, you need to have a schedule. You need to have a routine, and use the afternoon. So, example, my routine would be I get up. Sometimes I go for a run in the morning at home, like inside. I have a treadmill, so I run inside, and then I have breakfast. I'll do a weight training session by around 11, because I know that if I don't do it before then, there's a chance I might not do it.
Right.
And then I use the afternoon when it gets warmer. I go outside and I take the dog for a walk, or I go for a walk by myself, or yeah, it's just get your steps in. Even use that as a motivator. Everyone has Fitbits now and apps that can track your steps. Use that as a motivator and make sure that you hit your 6,000 steps, and the next day you want to hit 7,000 or 8,000 and get yourself up to 10,000 steps a day. We've got time. So
Right.
we can get 10,000 steps a day when we're home all
It's
day.
also, I think with Fitbit and stuff, it can become, you can set up challenges, right, with other family members or friends that have it, and you can actually challenge each other. So I think when because I think we're social beings and we're missing that connection with people, we can actually create those connections,
For
in a
sure.
different way, right? So it's about, like, I know my sister has done a Zoom class, like, so every day at 5 o'clock, they do a Zoom routine for the family, and we just join in and we do it together, but yet, through a screen. So I think the social aspect of where people are feeling, a little disconnected, you can actually be creative, like you said, bring it together,
For
right?
sure. A lot of people I know, our gym has a Facebook page, and everybody daily is posting what class they did or what workout they did. And then a lot of my friends are even doing Skype workouts together. So you set up your camera, and just like how we are now, we do a workout together at the exact same time. So you kind of feel like you have someone pushing you if you are quarantined by yourself, or if you want to work out with somebody else. It's a really good way to get that social aspect in as well.
Right. I think that's the key right now. I think as we're now 1 month into this way of life, right? It's like you're missing that connection, right? So I think we do have to get creative, and fitness is a great way. You could do classes together, like you said, either Skype or Zoom, or some kind of way that we can do it together. What about nutrition? When we talk about fitness, I mean, there's a whole component, right, which nutrition comes in. What would you suggest?
Nutrition's huge. So nutrition is, I would say, just as much important as exercising, if not more. Especially if you have a fitness goal of losing weight, you cannot out train a bad diet, and that's science. It just doesn't work. So I think a big thing is I know I see it all over the internet. A lot of people are taking this time and drinking more and baking more and things like that, and that's great, and it's great to do that in moderation, but to feel good, you have to eat good. We are what we eat, and that is very, very true. And I think a big thing is just the same thing with your nutrition as your workouts. Plan it, schedule it. A lot of people use the excuse why they don't meal prep and prepare meals ahead of time because they don't have time. We have time now. So
Yeah.
set aside a day of the week or a couple hours in your day to prep your meals ahead of time. And that's huge. I do simple things as little as getting little vegetables and putting them in a container and just putting them in the fridge. So when the afternoon snack feeling comes before dinner and I want to have a snack, or after dinner when I'm sitting watching TV, rather than going and grabbing something bad, I go and grab my already prepared veggies and dip. So it's just having things prepared with your exercise is just as important with your nutrition, if not more, because a lot of people, it's so much easier to just go in and grab that bag of chips than to grab the bag of prepared carrots. Do you know what I mean? So it's having stuff prepared is my biggest recommendation, and it'll be a lifesaver for you. But make sure that you continue or start to eat a lot healthier and clean, because that's going to help you feel so much better. You're not going to feel as less energized. You'll feel way more energized if you're eating better. Little things like apples or a banana gives you almost just as much energy as a cup of coffee in the morning. So having a banana can give you enough energy to work out for half an hour or longer. So I think the big thing is really sticking to your nutrition, but the way that you're going to do that is to meal prep and prepare healthy meals.
Yeah, and I think this whole part of nutrition also boosts our immunity. So when we're eating clean, eating healthy, considering that we are, sort of very aware of the health aspect, right now, in terms of contracting not just COVID, but just not getting ill, right? Everybody's really concerned about just staying healthy. I think that health portion, or the nutrition portion can really boost our immunity, right? And not just energy, but just how the body is going to react to if we come across, something that isn't good, like in terms of a cold or a flu or whatever, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of people are talking about vitamin C and zinc and all that stuff, and people are going crazy trying to find these vitamin C supplements, yet oranges are stocked in the grocery store, so go and grab some oranges, right? Like grab
Right.
stuff that natural sources that the earth has already given us. We just don't really realize that it's right there in our back pockets. We just have to know and just to really plan it and eat the good stuff.
Yeah, and I think this is all part of awareness. Like I've said this before on my show, and I know a lot of people, may think I'm a little bit crazy when I say it, that, in a way, COVID has come with a silver lining in terms of our own awareness, right? Of the blessings we have, the conscious living that we now need to do, right? In terms of preserving our planet and using the things that are in our, that are being grown, as opposed to doing these maybe supplements. I mean, yes, of course, there's a place for it, but it's just making us more aware. We're consciously now more aware of the things we took for granted, and time was one of them too, right? So I think it's just now allowing us or forcing us to adjust, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else like you can suggest that would help? And I'm gonna end the show in a little bit. So just if you can maybe give sort of the final points of what you would say, for people that just want to get today started. Just let's work on today.
Absolutely. So I think, like I said from the beginning, is get yourself a plan, write it down, and stick to that plan. Use your plan as a checklist. And the first thing you should do is really just write down what you're going to do and what you want to achieve that day. So if that means, if it's starting from fresh, never exercised before, use today as the day to get out and go for a good walk. Or simple, like plan one healthy meal. Just take baby steps. That's the biggest thing. Don't just jump into this and expect to change completely who you are, because it doesn't work that way. So if you try to change everything all at once, you're going to feel overwhelmed and not want to do it. So I think a big thing is baby steps, and just little things like today, maybe go for a walk and have one healthy, clean meal. And then tomorrow go do something maybe like a at-home workout, and then go for a walk and have one clean meal. And then so on and so forth. But I think the biggest thing is, like I said, make a plan for yourself, write it down, and stick to your plan, because that's going to be the way that you're going to achieve your goals. When you can, it's very, very rewarding to be able to check off a list that you have completed, even if it's as simple as doing a 5-minute breathing meditation, or a 10-minute yoga class. Like, there's so many ways to move and keep active. And I think that's the biggest thing that we need to do is just plan it, check it off. And at the end of the day, share your checklist with us and say, like, look what I did today compared to what I did yesterday.
Yeah. And I think that's great, right? Like when we can be in that place where we can share it and help others, because when we are motivated, I think that energy comes across, right? And that's contagious. So everybody can kind of feed off of that, right? So I think we can help each other for that. So thank you so much for coming on. You shared some great insights. I appreciate it. I hope you'll come visit me again. Of course, out of quarantine to the house, but right now we can do these kinds of things. So thank you again. I wish you a wonderful week, and I will see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you everybody that you've got some good ideas from Megan in terms of how you can incorporate fitness into your day. And whether you're starting out or you're just, you've been going to the gym and you want to find other ways, I hope Megan gave you some insight. Look into the classes, look into the online stuff that's free. There's so many things out there. I wish you a blessed day. I hope that everybody is healthy, and I will see you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thanks for joining in.